This is a video in response to Grow Your Own Veg's question about vertical gardens, and I was intrigued by your idea to grow gardens vertically. I too looked on the internet and couldn't find anything that was particularly successful, and you're right in that all the ones that appear to be product made seem to have such small spaces. The other thing about growing something on a fence, for example that one over there, is although there is a lot of sun there, it gets the evening sun, really the plants that are on there are only going to get light from one direction. And I think if you're going to grow vertically, you really need the plants to grow or to have light from all directions if you're going to grow vegetables, because obviously they need a lot of light. So my thinking was to go vertically from the raised beds in using something that doesn't block out too much light. I was recently in Norfolk and I saw a lovely idea, or looked like a lovely idea, of somebody or a company who used like vegetable boxes to go up, but although it looked lovely, actually when you looked in closer, the vegetables underneath, I think they had herbs in there, were very poor. There was no light at all. So if you were going to grow vegetables vertically, then I think you'd need to put the vertical thing on an area of garden, for example this one, which doesn't really get the evening sun. So for example, this bed here is now being blocked out by the hedge over here. So everything that's in there is in the shade. However, if you go up vertically, the thing that, the height of it gives you extra sun. And my thinking is if you're talking about a small garden, then there are going to be places in that small garden where there are fences or a house which will be blocking out some of the sun. So this is a prototype, and it's made just using builder's pins from Wicks, which I think were £3 each. And this is something that we found actually on the beach, found a couple of them. I think they're oyster catcher things, but they'd actually broken away, and I think they were tied to a landing jetty, and the part of the trunk of the landing jetty was still all tied up with them. But it is very flimsy. I like the idea of it because it lets through the light to the things that are underneath it, and it casts a little shadow as possible. And I suppose if you wanted to put some sort of tray in there, if you wanted to put a water tray, then you can make that out of clear plastic somehow, maybe cling film. We haven't really thought this through yet. But the other thing I think you might be able to use are these baker's trays, and I've had these for years, and you can pick them up. I mean, they get chucked out all over the place, but I've literally had these for about 20 years now. I don't even know if bakers use them anymore. But again, that's a more substantial tray, and I like it because the sides are high, which you were talking about your wind problem. If you had a lot of wind, then obviously the pots would just fall out of this one over here. They just blow over immediately. So I'd be interested to know what you think, and whether you think it's a good idea. My thinking is to either find some more pins at a more tougher metal, but I don't really think that is the answer. I have got some up here which are much thicker, but again they are, I know that's not properly in the ground, but they are wobbly, and I think you need a rigid structure. So I'm thinking probably wood, I think, would have to make the structure of it, and then the tray would probably sit inside it somehow. So yes, I'll be interested to know what you think. I may do something on that fence over there. I don't really want to lean anything against the fence or hang anything from it particularly, but my initial thinking was possibly to put those 10-inch pots from like a ladder kind of construction. So that's a possibility, but I think the ladder would have to be self-supporting and not just leaning up against that fence there. So that's my response to your video about vertical space. I totally agree with you about the silly little pockets. Yes, you could only grow lettuce, but I think this idea, I don't think it would cut out the light too much. And as I say, if you put it in an area that was going to get shade, then surely that's got to be a bonus, hasn't it? I don't know. Perhaps you could let me know your thoughts, or anybody else who sees this video. I'd be very interested to know what you think. Thanks for watching.